All right, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we are live with episode 10 of
The Big Ten
Neutral Zone podcast. We are here, 10 episodes. Who knew? Who fucking knew?
Who would have thought?
Thank you, Caleb. Thank you.
Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk? But today is a Monday. Today's a Monday. Usually we do them on Sundays. I think Monday might be our new day. Because I think
Monday's a good day.
I think today's a good day. It's after all the games are over, so I think Monday might be a good solid day to do these. So I know I usually
Monday could be a good day,
but Mondays are a pretty good day. You know, fuck Mondays, but Mondays are a pretty good day. But we're starting to do the podcast on Mondays now. So for those that are like, why, what's going on? So we could talk about some of the games after they happen, and we also have a game to talk about tonight. That's before it happens, the Broncos game. Who the fuck, by the way, keeps putting the Broncos on primetime? Who's that? Soup. Stop.
Broncos country. Let's ride.
So the first thing on every podcast we talk a little bit about college football for those that enjoy it. Alabama. What happened?
What happened?
How'd you lose to Tennessee?
I think a lot of it has to do. I don't even want to say it was bad Alabama. I just think Tennessee is fucking legit this
Tennessee
year, dude.
is crazy. They looked good during that game too.
Bama, like I said before, Bama's defeatable this year. God is real this year. Like the devil is gone.
Isn't Bryce? I can't believe I'm saying this, but Skip Bayless is right. Bryce Young just is not that guy.
Yeah, they get
I know he won the Heisman last year, but he didn't have much competition.
Literally, he got exposed. They played like a really good team. He got exposed.
I still think Texas. I still think Texas would have beat Alabama if
their quarterback
never got hurt.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, A&M was right there. A&M was
not A&M. It was Texas.
It's Texas.
And A&M almost beat them too. Yeah.
No, A&M was like, wasn't A&M like literally a play?
They're one play away.
Yeah, one play.
And it was a terrible fucking call. I don't know why they called the play they did.
Zach Taylor type beat.
Dude, just wait till we get to the Bengals game. I have a rant, bro.
Oh boy. I'm kind of excited for that. I'm not gonna lie. But the new PFF grading or whatever what do they call it? The fucking ranking for college football came out. Georgia's number 1. Ohio State's number 2. I thought they were gonna jump Tennessee above us because of that win, but they didn't. So I'm surprised about that. But Ohio State's number 2. Tennessee's number 3, and I think I forgot number 4. Number 4 it's either Clemson or Michigan. I forgot which one.
It's Michigan.
It's Michigan. Okay.
So I think they got it right. I think that's a good top 4.
Michigan, they played a good team and they won. They played a good game against Penn State, which now we have.
I don't know if Tennessee should be 3 though.
Where do you think they should be? 4?
They should be 4 or 5.
Right.
I don't think that one win makes them jump up 7 spots. Basically,
I do think they deserve the top 4 though.
Mm-hmm. And Alabama jumps back to number 6, which is
fair.
I would say.
Because they've had some questionable games this year too. They were already sliding in the polls anyway.
And here's the big what if. What if Alabama doesn't make playoffs this year? And there's a big chance to, because there's a couple teams that are undefeated. If Bama's one loss, that could screw them over.
Is that the first? Would that be the first time Bama's missed the college football playoffs? I feel like they missed 1 year too.
That was the first time they missed it forever. Yeah.
Was the first? Did they make it the year Ohio State won?
What was it?
Did they miss it the year Ohio State won? And like when Zeke was on?
Ohio State beat them.
Beat them. Okay.
That was when they had Elliott.
Yeah.
Zeke had a crazy game against Bama, but I feel like Bama got upset a couple of years ago one time.
Wasn't it like playoff. I feel like it was like Georgia, Clemson, Oklahoma, and like Notre Dame or something.
That probably sounds about right, honestly.
I think I have like a t-shirt. I have a sweatshirt.
Got blown out by Clemson because they had Baker.
Yeah, or something weird.
And Notre Dame lost to.
There's the Jeff appearance.
Georgia, was it?
At the boys?
Yeah.
It's the boys.
Yeah, the appearance.
The appearance.
Let's go.
There's the Jeff appearance.
It's the Daily Jeff appearance.
The Daily Jeff.
Yeah.
Let's rock.
We need it.
Broncos country, let's ride.
We need to get Jeff on an episode.
You want to get Jeff on? You want to get Jeff on this
an
podcast
episode.
once? They want to get you on the podcast once, Jeff.
Talk football?
Yeah, talk football. Tell him how good Cooper Rush was last night. All right, he's being a little quiet. He's a Dallas fan. He's a Dallas fan. It's okay.
Oh, okay. I was like, why would you say that?
Oh.
Cooper Rush.
Yeah,
what
I know, buddy.
happened?
Later.
It rained. It'll be wet.
Okay.
That's a clip right there.
All right, Jeff.
Jeff interruptions.
I see him in the top left.
Yeah.
No, go back.
Yeah.
What,
He heard. He said you can go Bengals.
Oh, yeah, go Bengals.
Who they, baby?
Yeah.
Who dey? The Jeff appearance. We
Jeff.
love it.
We need to get both Jeff and
I want
my
Jeff
dad.
to be my dad.
We need to get Jeff and my dad on an episode. That'd be so funny.
Dude, we should get a parent episode.
Dude,
That's
dad
fag.
episode going? That'd be hilarious. I need to get a laptop for that to happen, though.
That'd be great.
What, Jeff?
You know what we need to do
Okay.
too, Cameron? We need to have a girlfriend episode.
Yeah, guys, let's have a girlfriend episode.
Caleb, you're slacking.
I was
dude.
gonna make that joke, but I didn't want Caleb to feel bad.
Like, damn, let's do it, guys. There's
All right,
my
but
girlfriend right
college
here.
football
No,
again.
Caleb, it's behind you. It's behind you. No, other way. In the white. You see the white?
Is that lotion?
This is my girlfriend, ladies and gentlemen. This is the love of my life. I always have this bad boy strategically placed in the background of my camera.
It's always in the background. I
Is
die
that in
laughing.
every podcast? I've
It's been
never
in
seen
every one.
Single one. If you go back to the
Everyone.
first one, it's in the background there.
Oh my god,
It's hilarious.
that's amazing. Okay,
I forgot to tweet out the podcast. I'm gonna do that right now, real quick.
back to the
Podcast.
subject anyway.
Yeah, I was trying to look up when the last time Alabama missed playoffs, but fucking Google is not giving me a straight answer.
Oh, what do you want?
Here, maybe if I type it.
But no, I think the top four is fair. I don't mind it. I think Tennessee being undefeated and then beating whatever. I mean, Alabama pretty much is the standard every year. And I know Alabama was questionable this year already, but they were the team to beat them. So, you know, I'm fine with them being 3.
All right,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Michigan did beat Penn State, but I don't think Michigan's beaten a top 10 team this year. Because Penn State was like 15th, I think. So, you know, I'm fine with the rankings being the way they are. And then, you know, Ohio State being second, I'm fine with them being second, not first.
Yeah, me too.
Can't be
I mean,
mad. Can't be mad.
Yeah, now Georgia's really, really good. Their quarterback, I think it's Bennett. I can't remember his first name. He's taken such a huge leap this year. Like last year, he felt like a game manager, and he just let the defense and his running game.
Didn't he
just
get
do it
hurt
for
last
him.
year?
Oh shit!
No, I thought
The
he played a
Arizona
little bit
Cardinals
last-
have traded for wide receiver Robbie Anderson.
They traded for Robbie Anderson.
Robbie Anderson is now a Cardinal.
Whoa.
What'd they trade to give up? What'd they give up for him?
I don't know. Rappaport just said they have traded for
Oh,
Robbie
yeah,
Anderson.
20. Oh.
They didn't say what they traded. It just says they got Robbie Anderson, a new wide receiver for Kyler Murray. Wow, that's pretty big news to come out.
That receiver room is stacked.
Yeah, hold
Damn.
on.
God
Hold
damn.
on.
Robbie
hold
Anderson
on, we gotta
is
put
he's
them
a
in
number
the-
1.
Let me just see
D-Hop
if anyone has
is back
Yeah,
this week
D-Hop's
too.
back
him
this
in
week.
fantasy.
You have D-Hop, Marquise Brown, Robbie Anderson,
Rondell Moore.
Rondale Moore,
And is it AJ Green?
Zach Ertz at tight end.
And no line.
Yeah, no lie. But they're basically saying, they're like, Kyler, we are loading you up because we know Modern Warfare 2 is about to drop. So you're going to need all the help you can get.
Currently claiming
Damn.
Anderson right now.
Steve
Is he-
Wilkes really said, you know, you're going to fucking fight me on the sideline. I'm sending you to the locker room and
Great.
trading you the next day.
He's probably so happy.
Yeah.
From Kyler to fucking or
Yeah, I
Baker
mean,
to
Robbie
Kyler.
Anderson didn't like Baker Mayfield before they got him. Then he tried to defend Baker and say like, "Oh no, I like him." And then he had an argument with his coach yesterday. He got sent to the locker room, and now he wakes up on
There's-
the Cardinals.
Wow. That's awesome.
Well, I think Kyler should have a jump in stats.
He should. That's a lot of help. Much needed help too.
I mean, Robbie Anderson was a number 1 in New York on the Jets for a while.
Yes.
Wow,
And
that's kind of crazy how fast that happened. Jesus.
He's very underrated. So
I knew after yesterday Robbie was gonna leave Carolina, but I didn't think it would be that fast.
I thought it was going to be in the offseason.
Yeah, I didn't know
But-
it would be that freaking fast.
Free
could be a
DJ
good-
Moore.
Literally day
That could
after.
be a good transition into the NFL talk. Do you think the Cardinals can go on a run now? They got D-Hop back, and they just got Robbie Anderson. Because when you look at the Cardinals, like, do you think their biggest issue is their offense?
I mean, their defense has been playing decent. They haven't given up. What have they given up more than 40 a game? I know that's like
40?
I guess like
don't-
more than 40 at all this year. I mean,
I feel like they didn't do it to the Raiders. No, it wasn't 40. I think they've been okay.
like it's been like middle of the pack.
Yeah, it's been average.
All right,
But when you draft a guy number 1 overall, an average defense shouldn't stop him from being
good.
Yeah. I'm looking at his stats this year just to put in perspective. This is not including rushing yards because it's just giving me his throwing yards and touchdown interception ratio. He's got 1,400 yards, 6 touchdowns, 4 picks. I mean,
Ooh.
D-Hop has been out. And, so now he's getting D-Hop back and Robbie Anderson back.
That's probably it's gonna really help him then.
That's nuts.
And
6-4.
He's not a high touchdown guy throwing wise. His
No.
highest season for touchdown passes is 26.
Yeah, he's more of a running guy.
Yeah.
He's gonna get in a position to score.
I definitely think they're going to be a lot better. D-Hop is arguably top 3 in my opinion in the league. I mean, he just makes catches that shouldn't be allowed to be made. And Robbie Anderson's really good too. So I honestly think that makes them better than the Rams.
My fantasy league let me draft Hopkins for $1. $1. And it's a takeover
Long-term
league.
investment.
It's a takeover lead, meaning I could take one player from my team and spend the same amount of money next year and just have him as my first player. If D-Hop goes off and he's like a top 3 receiver to pick for fantasy, that's a fucking steal for me. So D-Hop is.
You just gotta see how he does when he comes back off the suspension.
I'm super worried, but I'm also super excited.
So when I'm looking at,
That's what happened.
I pulled up the standings just for reference. So the NFC West right now, the Cardinals are in last place, but they're 1 game out. They're all 3-3. So I think I genuinely could see the Cardinals winning the division. And this is from a guy that's not a big fan of Kyler Murray, but the West has not looked that impressive. Matt Stafford, I think he's thrown a pick in every single game. And the Rams defense just is not living up what it's. I know they played good yesterday, but they played against the Panthers, who's got the worst offense in the league. The Niners, I mean, they always look bad for a bit with Jimmy G, but then they come to life. So I think that's their biggest competition. And while Geno Smith is playing out of his mind, I don't think the Seahawks are true contenders. So I think with those additions being back, I can see the Cardinals winning that division.
Right.
Even though I
definitely
picked them to
that's
miss
up for
the playoffs
grabs.
this year. I thought the Rams and the Niners are going to be a lot better.
Trey Lance was probably the biggest thing that hurt the Niners.
You think Trey Lance is an upgrade over Jimmy G?
Right now, from the way Jimmy's looked, yeah. Jimmy's doing what Jimmy G does. Basically.
Disagree for the fact that in the few games we've seen Trey Lance play, he hasn't looked all that great.
He
No,
didn't look good at all, man.
No, he didn't look good at all. No. I'm just saying that 49ers, they spent the whole offseason working with Lance, making that offense work with Lance, just to go back to, oh shit, we have Jimmy G.
2 games in.
Yeah, like that's what makes me think that they probably would have been better off with Lance like not getting hurt.
Yeah. I can understand that.
Yeah,
All right.
I definitely can as well. It's ironic we brought that game yesterday when I posted a TikTok of my my game predictions. When I got to the Falcons at Niners, you can literally hear me go, "I think this might be an upset." No, I'm gonna go Niners over Falcons. I literally almost said Falcons over Niners because I was like, I could see it happening, but
I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was gonna be a blowout Niners win, but I gotta be honest, man. The Falcons in a rebuild year have looked really good compared to what I thought they were gonna be.
Right.
Oh my
Marcus
god,
Mariota, he's been solid, dude.
he's been great. I mean, I would just imagining him on the 49ers. Like, how much better would he be over Jimmy G? Like that's my rationale from Like my rationale to compare quarterbacks is like you have Jimmy G who's gonna win you games, but he's not gonna throw them sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
If he's do you think like better than Jimmy G? Like that's how okay, you're actually a capable starter. That's how I kind of gauge it.
I mean, he looked better than Jimmy G. I'll say that. But I don't think in the long run Mariota's better than Jimmy G. But he looked like the Mariota from Oregon yesterday. He was
he
accurate, precise, making plays with his legs. He played good. Kyle Pitts got his first touchdown American soil. Like, the Falcons look good, and playing them next week, I'm not that confident going up against them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a gimme game.
I mean, it's not a gimme, but I would be like, this is winnable.
No, it's definitely winnable. I'm just saying, like, going into, I'm not like, oh, we get to play the Falcons this week. Like, all right, like, let's go.
Yeah.
No, I'm like, okay, this is winnable, but they're not bad. Like,
Us, dude, knowing us, something's gonna happen. Oh my gosh, my voice.
Cough, dude. Take a drink. Well, do you want to talk about the games that happened yesterday? We can talk about some of them.
I think we should talk about the game last week that we set up a little bit and talked a little bit about the Raiders versus Chiefs, 30-29.
Great game.
Good game.
Great game.
Couple questionable calls there. Couple questionable roughing the passer calls. We talked a little bit about that last week too with the Tom Brady call against the Falcons.
The Raiders choked hard.
The Raiders choked awful. That wasn't awful.
Here's the thing too.
It's crazy.
The Raiders were choking before Josh McDaniels even got there. They've been blowing leads and choking shit. So I just don't think I don't know. I'm not saying Josh McDaniels is a good coach. I'm just saying this is a reoccurring theme before he even got there. So I love Derek Carr, but we gotta start looking at it like, bro, you've been here for years and this culture hasn't changed at all. You're still blowing games. You're losing games that when you're up 17-0, I know it's the Chiefs, but this isn't the only team they do this against. You know, they did it to the Cardinals. They choked away the game in overtime this year as well. Last year they had a couple games, so it's just, I don't know, man. I think you got to start looking at the players that you've got.
The Raiders looked like a better team last year without D-Hop. Wait, no, not D-Hop. Devontae.
Devontae.
Yeah, my bad.
And Devontae hasn't played bad. He has good numbers, but how do you run into another receiver on the most crucial play of the game?
I don't know what's wrong with them. I mean, they extended Carr. They're kind of stuck with him now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think they should have extended him.
No. I love Derek Carr, too.
Derek Carr is a good starter. Really, like, great quarterback. But, like, he's not going to get you to the promised land.
Yeah, no. He's just a good guy that can help change the culture. The losing culture, not the, like the blowing leads culture.
He's going to win you games, not a Super Bowl.
Yeah. He had that one crazy good year where he looked like he was an MVP and then he got injured and he couldn't play in the playoffs.
Yep.
And I know last year he made it to the playoffs and he lost to Cincinnati. But I'm surprised, Bisaccia, I think is his name. I'm surprised he didn't get a head coaching job after what he did with the Raiders last year.
He should have stayed the Raiders head coach.
Yeah. I don't know why they would have gotten rid of him.
For the person they got.
Yeah, for McDaniels.
Have they learned nothing from Denver? I keep saying that. They learned nothing from Denver.
But yeah, that game was, credit to Patrick Mahomes and credit to the Chiefs for the comeback. But the Raiders, they just blew that game so hard.
Right. My gosh. And then talking about Thursday night games, Commanders and Bears, 12-7. Finally, a touchdown got scored since what was the last game? The Bengals Dolphins game was the last time a touchdown was scored on Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
Other than this game, how? like, come on.
Because you had Carson Wentz playing Justin Fields.
Oh my goodness! But I'm glad they finally scored a touchdown this week. Finally, they broke the curse. And
Here's
maybe
the thing,
next
man.
week's Thursday game, Saints vs Cardinals, is going to be hopefully a little bit better. But
Saints Cardinals.
Saints Cardinals.
There might be some scoring. Here's the thing, man. When I was watching that Commanders and Bears game, genuinely, I think the Bears easily should have won that game. And it's not because they couldn't get touchdowns in the red zone. Just take the points. I mean, if you're the head coach, this isn't like they were just struggling and they're a good red zone team. They have not been good in the red zone all year. You got 3 chances. I know the third chance you had to score a touchdown to win. If you just take the 2 field goals earlier on in the game, hell, if you take one of them, at the end of the game, all you got to do is kick a field goal, you win by 1.
Right.
So, Justin Fields, I honestly don't even think he played that bad of a game. I think, obviously, the score, you wouldn't think he played a good game. I don't think he played that great, but at the end of the game, he made the plays he needed to, and he threw 2 perfect touchdowns that his receivers dropped. So,
He played better than Wentz.
I would take Fields over Wentz in that game. I think Fields outplayed him, even though Wentz receivers did drop a touchdown.
But Wentz has really good receivers, and he's just Wentz.
His line sucks too, though.
His line's awful.
That's true.
And his defense, I mean, everyone hypes up the Commanders' defense. They're fucking dog shit, dude. I don't know. I mean, they held the Bears to 7, but it's the Bears. And
without Chase Young, their D-line doesn't even look like phenomenal.
They're not even mid. Like, they're just bad. And Ron Rivera is a defensive head coach. So I don't know what happened, but their secondary is getting torched. Their linebacking core is probably the best part about that team right now that's playing the best, and they're mid at best. And the defensive line is getting no pressure.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I don't think Wentz is the problem with Washington. I mean, he was 5th in the league in passing before this week where he threw for 99 yards. But I don't think Wentz is their biggest issue.
Right.
And then Ron Rivera called out Carson Wentz before the game. Then they win the game. And then he's defending Carson Wentz right after the game. Saying, oh, I'm the one who wanted Carson Wentz on our team. Well, I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Well, that says something about Dan Snyder, though.
Yeah, no, I understand, but it was just really bad because the week before, they're like, what's the biggest issue? Why aren't you winning? Quarterback. No, you're not winning because your defense can't stop shit.
Yeah, I can't believe he said that in the interview. Quarterback.
Call out his quarterback in front of everybody.
Yeah.
And the following week wants to say he wants to defend Carson Wentz. I'm like, bro, you're the reason he's getting so much criticism right now.
Yeah. Now moving on to yesterday's games, I think it's only fair we talk about I would say the biggest upset of yesterday. The Steelers beating Tom Brady.
You think that's the biggest upset?
Losing to Kenny effing Pickett, as Tom Brady said in his own words.
Well, Pickett didn't play the whole game.
Did you hear what he said?
To his lineman. He said it to his lineman.
He said, I didn't leave my kids and my family to come out here and lose to Kenny fucking Pickett.
Are you serious?
Is that word for word?
That's word for word.
I mean, there's worse said on the sideline, but damn.
That's top 5.
I love that quote.
That's got to be top 5 coldest quotes of all time.
I did not leave my wife and my kids to lose to Kenny fucking Pickett.
That is a cold fuck. I want that on a shirt. I want that on a fucking
amazing.
shirt.
That's a great quote. Is that really word for word what he said?
I hope that's got to be word for word.
On Twitter, it said in quotes, and if he'll read his mouth, and I didn't leave my kids and wife to lose to Kenny fucking Pickett.
That is awesome.
Like, this dude,
Tom
Brady, spent time at a wedding on Friday in New York City. He missed Wednesday's practice. And
he's been missing Wednesday practices all year.
And I think it's unfair for him to go and yell at his line after he didn't even attempt to practice at all this week.
Yeah. Like, if I'm the lineman, I'm going to be like, bruh, play better.
Come to fucking practice once in a while, would you?
I wouldn't even say that. I'd just be like, bro, you're missing Chris Godwin wide open. We should be blowing the Steelers out. Chris Godwin had 3 wide open touchdowns. Tom Brady just couldn't hit him. Yeah. And it's not like he was under a lot of pressure.
Mike Evans got locked up too.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Mike Evans didn't get any targets. He got
6.
4.
He got 6, I believe.
Oh, I thought he had 4 targets.
Was it 4 targets?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Either way, like it's Mike Evans. You gotta throw him the ball more, even if he is locked up.
It doesn't matter. You throw it up to him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Tom hasn't looked like Tom this year at all.
Also,
I'm like if I'm one of those linemen, he said that to me, I'm gonna be like, Tom, play better and we'll be fine. Like we're not the issue. The defense held the Steelers to 20 points. I mean, which is more than I thought the Steelers were gonna score, honestly. But you're Tom Brady. You should be able to outplay Kenny Pickett and Mitchell Trubisky because
You see our secondary? Did you see our secondary in that game?
Yeah.
All of our starting corners were out.
Tom should have thrown for 303 touchdowns at least against the Steelers secondary yesterday.
I don't know.
I've seen the Steelers secondary fully healthy and people throw 200, 300 yards on them.
Yeah.
And
So,
Tom, like Revive said, Tom's looked like a fraud in the chat.
Let me pull up his actual stats yesterday. I want to see. Brady threw 25 for 40, 243 yards, 1 touchdown, no pick. Should have been way better.
Should have been way more. Because I was watching
Godwin
him
had
that game a
6
little
for
bit.
95, and he should have had 8 for 200 because he had some wide open plays, and Tom was
wide
missing
open
him.
downfield, yeah. Tom Brady also yesterday. I don't know how you guys are going to feel about this one, but while a Bucks player was injured on the field, Tom Brady is seen in the background practicing and throwing the football over everyone crowding around the player that's down. He's literally like behind there's a whole group to like his like middle left, and he's sitting there basically throwing the ball over everyone, kind of crowding around the player that's injured on the field, and people are kind of giving him huge criticism for that and are kind of pissed off about him for doing that.
I mean,
I see it both ways, honestly.
a lot of teams just like walk off and go in the huddle anyway, though.
Yeah. So I don't know. I wouldn't crucify Tom for that. I think the quote is the best part about that, what he said. But while we're on the subject, I think we should talk about Kenny Pickett and how he played before he had to leave. In my opinion yesterday, I think Mitch actually outplayed him in yesterday's game. They both had about, not the same amount of starting time, but a decent amount. And when the plays needed to be made, Mitch did make the plays. Pickett, to me right now, is... It's not really a knock on him because I don't think his receivers can separate downfield.
Right.
And he's just very dink and dunk right now. He's not. He didn't turn the ball over in this game, which is like a really good sign because he had turnovers in all of his other games. But the one touchdown, it wasn't like a tight window throw. It was a wide open out route to Najee Harris, who I don't know what's going on with Najee Harris this year, but he has not looked like himself. But I think, I don't know, from a Steelers fan, maybe you feel different. If I'm the Steelers, I don't think subbing in Pickett was the right move.
Oh, I've said that before. I mean, no, I mean, Mitch doesn't deserve to start again. We threw him in, keep him in.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like at this point, keep Pickett in because you've already made that change.
I made a tweet like a couple weeks ago. I'm like, look at the schedule coming up and tell me you really want to start Pickett against these people. I didn't want him starting.
Starting Pickett against the Bills, kid had to be terrified. Kid had to be scared for his life.
The number 1 defense in the league. Like, I respect it. I respect it. I mean, it's not like a bad move by any means. I would have done it. I'm not a GM. I'm not a coach, but I would have kept Mitch in.
Right.
But hey, their next few games are very winnable. Let's do. I mean, they play the Dolphins next, but apparently Tua's gonna play. So I don't know if that changes, like how
I'm so scared.
How you feel about it.
I'm so scared for that, man.
He plays. I mean, the Steelers. Their next 2 games, aren't out of the realm of possibility of them pulling out upsets. Then we know Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season. So
no.
Right.
Who knows, man?
And I guess we'll move to another AFC North team. Also, I don't know if you'd call this an upset or not. The Patriots basically blowing out the Browns 38-15. Oh my gosh, man! My voice can't freaking speak. I definitely thought the Browns would pull this one out. And I'm surprised Bailey Zapp is like the next coming of Tom Brady right now. Or is it Zappy?
Yeah, Zappy looked great.
Looks great. Of Tom Brady, he's crazy good. He's pretty good.
Pretty good quarterback.
He's pretty good quarterback for being a triple. He's a triple backup, right?
He was the third string.
But to be fair,
like, that's crazy.
He does have the greatest coach of all time coaching him.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the Patriots they don't have the flashiest offense, but their running game is pretty good.
The
But
receivers are
Zappy didn't
consistent.
he throw for like 300 yards? Like he had a really good game. But the Browns, I thought it was an upset because one, I thought Nick Chubb was just going to have a day. And secondly, Jacoby Brissett had been looking pretty good, and he just did not look good at all.
And they did not give Chubb the ball like at all. They did not give him the ball at all. They gave it only to Brissett, and Brissett, I mean, the score reflects on what happened. But they didn't give Chubb the ball at all. It's funny because I where I live,
They're not the only AFC North team that didn't run the ball.
Where I live, I should be getting like, you know, the radio station from like, I would hope to see the Bengals, but because where I live, my radio station is only centered around the Browns. So when I was driving home from work yesterday, I had the radio station on, but they were just talking about the Browns, and the person that was doing the radio that day was pissed. Dude was like visibly angry. You could hear him like banging on his desk and like talking about the game. Like, dude, calm the fuck down. It was like he's like, we have one of the best running backs in the league, and we don't give him the ball. And I was like,
they have the best
honestly,
running back in the league, in my opinion.
Literally, they're not wrong. They're not wrong.
I don't even. You said the biggest upset was the Steelers game. I have a completely different game that I think is the biggest upset of the week. The Jets went into Lambeau and beat the Packers 27-10.
I think there's a lot of good upsets this week too. Like the Giants
if you watch the game, the second half wasn't even close.
Right.
Like, and it wasn't that Zach Wilson was dealing. I will say Zach Wilson didn't turn the ball over. He played very smart. But Breece Hall, he might be that dude. 20 carries, 116 yards, and a touchdown. And, you know, their defense, man, Sauce Gardner.
So good.
Yeah, Sauce Gardner is a top 5 corner. I don't care what anyone says right now. He's a top 5 in his rookie year. He's playing out of his mind. He almost had a pick 6 yesterday. And, you know, the Packers offense, I remember saying when we first did the podcast, I thought they were going to struggle this year, but I think I still picked them to win the division. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if the Packers are going to win it because the Vikings look good, and Aaron Rodgers is just looking bad.
Like, the Vikings' only loss is to probably, like right now, arguably the best team in football.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Kirk Cousins looks really good right now.
Kirk has been playing great.
Yeah.
Thielen turned back the clock 3 years.
Yeah. You know, the one thing I really want to talk about with the Jets, too, that I think is very underrated, they didn't pop off yesterday against Green Bay, but Green Bay has a really good secondary. The Jets receiving core is one of the most underrated receiving cores in the league. Corey Davis is one of the most underrated players. He always performs. He had the catch of the game yesterday to put the Jets ahead pretty much. They have
I was going to say something about Corey Davis, though.
Yeah.
That's how it is every year.
What?
With Corey Davis. This guy's
super underrated.
Oh, no, I'm just saying, this is the greatest receiver I ever watched. Oh.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, he's mid. Oh, this is number, like, what was he, like 5 overall? When he's picked up by the Titans?
He flashes.
He has so much flash.
Yeah, he's not as consistent. Garrett Wilson only had 1 catch for 8 yards. But Garrett Wilson, man, he's been playing really good.
Garrett Wilson's really good.
And then you have Breece Hall that helps out in the passing game. Braxton Berrios had a really nice run yesterday for a touchdown. The Jets, I'm not saying they're competing with the Bills, but I could realistically, if Zach Wilson's not turning the ball over as much as he did last year and he keeps playing like this, I don't see why they can't be a wild card team.
Yeah. By the way, we just had like a bombardment of sex comments in the comments.
What?
So,
what?
Revived. I know you're in our you watch our podcast a lot, so I just modded you Revived. So if something happens like that, you can delete those messages. Okay, cool. As I was I accidentally pinned it too. I was like, oh, what?
Well, in height of the Robbie Anderson news, Marquise Brown suffered a potentially season-ending injury.
Well, that makes sense now. That trade makes a lot more sense.
So that makes.
They needed
prayers for Marquise Brown.
Yeah, pray to him, man. That's never something you ever want to go through. So
I don't wish that on anybody. That type of stuff's scary.
Yeah, for real. I I guess we could talk about, since we just talked about Vikings Dolphins. Vikings won 24-16 against the Dolphins. Tua is coming back.
Not
next
impressed by that.
week,
No.
I am terrified for the kid. I'm
not
terrified for the kid.
Tua's been cleared for 2 weeks. Keep in mind, medically.
Yeah, Tua's fully healthy, so I'm not too scared for him, because after that incident, he's had so many people look at him and check him out. There's no way they're throwing him in unless he's 110%.
He could have played 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but he's
Medically speaking, they could have played two weeks ago because of the PR. I mean, the
which
Dolphins
I'm
fans
happy
are
they
pissed.
sat him.
Well, yeah, I'm 100% glad, but because of the outrage, like they just like changed the rule.
Oh yeah,
Like Teddy Bridgewater could have been back last week.
and they kept him out, and then he came back in the game after Skylar Thompson got hurt.
Yeah.
So I'm not impressed by the Vikings win at all. 2 more games I want to highlight. The Cowboys-Eagles game, just because I think Cooper Rush finally got exposed when the Cowboys aren't playing with a lead and when their defense is not taking over the game. We know what Cooper Rush is. Everyone was saying, "Oh, quarterback controversy. Cooper Rush is for." No,
Dak's better, but I don't think he played awful.
no, but he
The
did.
three- the
he
three
did
picks-
lose them the game.
The 3 picks, I would say, maybe 2 of them were his fault.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The
And he put them in
the other
position
one,
to win.
The other one was bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it wasn't. It may not have been fully his fault, but it was still a bad decision.
one-
He
well,
threw it
I don't
into
remember.
coverage.
Like when they got tipped up, whatever. I don't know if
That was
Noah
James
Brown.
Bradbury leaping on the route.
Yeah.
But Darius Slay picked him off on a throw he never should have thrown.
Yeah.
And he tried to throw a deep ball, I think, to CeeDee Lamb. Which, by the way, Darius Slay, best corner in football. I revoked the Jalen Ramsey thing. Darius Slay is playing out of his mind.
Yeah. That's
He
Seahawks
locked
corner
up
too.
Justin Jefferson, locked up CeeDee Lamb. He's been locking everyone up week after week.
What is it? What's the Seahawks? I forgot his last name.
Who?
The Seahawks corner, the rookie.
Oh, damn! I know who you're talking about.
No, but he's been playing phenomenal as well. Like he's already in the conversation to be top 5 corner so far this season.
Yeah, I think the Seahawks. I don't know if it was an upset them beating the Cardinals, but they've blown my expectations out of the water. God damn it!
Gino.
Yeah,
That's
Cat.
it.
Yeah. I guess we could talk about that game too. Seahawks at Cardinals. Seahawks winning 19-9.
There's not much I can really say because I didn't watch much of the game.
I didn't
but
watch it either. I watched the Bills Chiefs game during that time, so I didn't really watch that game.
yeah,
I didn't watch
Geno
the
Smith.
Panthers either.
Yeah, Geno Smith is a lot better than people give him credit for.
Yeah,
He said they wrote me off. I ain't right back.
literally,
Yeah.
yeah.
Gino.
Coldest line in NFL history.
Yeah, for real.
Gino's
I ain't
been
right back,
dealing.
no. But Geno's yeah, he surprised everyone being a good quarterback, and having receivers like DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett too, like
Noah Fant at tight end too.
yeah, it just
Noah
it
Fant's
just
good.
adds. And Will Dissly's pretty good too.
Yeah.
Will Dissly's pretty good too.
Maybe Pete Carroll wasn't crazy for trading Russ. Like maybe Pete Carroll was right about the whole we have 2 starting quarterbacks. He said that about Drew Lock, but maybe the Geno hype that Pete Carroll was spewing, maybe he wasn't like 100% wrong.
Yeah. And obviously he's the head coach, so he saw training camp and all that more than we did, obviously.
Yeah.
So probably during training camp, he's like, "Wow, this dude's a lot better than people give him credit for," and that's why he won the race in the end, because he's not terrible. I do kind of
good.
want to see Drew Lock play a game though, just because I want to see how they compare. But
I mean, the
obviously they're
Seahawks.
not going to now,
I think
but
Geno Smith leads the league in QBR.
yeah, his QBR is great.
So technically speaking, he's played better than every other quarterback up to this point.
Let me actually see his QBR.
I think it's like into the 90s. It's like a 96 or something crazy. He's been really fucking good.
Okay, it's just not gonna give me that. Okay, cool. All right, thanks. I don't know why I use Microsoft Bing. Don't ask me why, but it just never gives me anything I need.
What we should talk about too, Bills and Chiefs, because a lot of people think that's gonna be the AFC title matchup.
Man, that game was good. And I'm glad the Bills won this time. Oh God, You got a touchdown, but you gave him way too much time. And then
Mahomes threw it. Mahomes threw that game at the end there.
Yeah. It was a horrible throw. I don't know what he was thinking. Dude, this cat.
It was such the Bills defense just played great there. Von Miller went on the inside, and they had Matt Milano on the spy. So they played it perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They got Mahomes right where he wanted him, and it's just great defensive effort by the Bills.
I like the Bills. I like Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen's hilarious.
Josh Allen's a great guy.
And yeah, he's a great guy too. So I'm glad they won this one. I was on TikTok yesterday, and there's a guy I follow, Wyatt's World. Do you guys know who that is?
Yeah,
The
I watched
Bills
Wyatt.
So.
He's a Bills fan, and he was posting his TikTok as his reaction. He's like, "There's a minute to go, touchdown, let's go, Dawson Knox." He's like, "Oh God, there's a minute left on the clock. That's way too much time." And it goes down. He's like, "All right, Patrick Mahomes, what are you gonna do?" Hey, throw it back! It was so funny. But...
I love Wyatt, but he's definitely a bandwagon Bills fan.
Oh yeah.
Because I've heard him talk about it. He grew up a Vikings fan.
Yeah, he
a Vikings fan. And they just started cheering for the Bills at one point. He did say he did have one TikTok where they lost to Miami. He's like, "Miami, you didn't beat us, you survived us." I'm like, "Nah, they beat the Bills. They made Buffalo look. They made Josh Allen look bad."
Yeah.
That Miami's home field advantage isn't talked about enough.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Against Minnesota. Going back to Minnesota, yeah. Going back to the Minnesota game, the Minnesota sideline was 30 degrees hotter than the Dolphins.
That was insane. I saw that on Facebook.
Nuts.
Holy shit.
Nobody talks about Dolphins at Hard Rock. Cannot beat them.
Because they have an open little area where sun can come through, right? And it shines on the field.
The way that their stadium is, their roof is kind of half opened where
right.
When it's the middle of the day, their sideline gets shade. The opposing team's sideline gets blaring heat.
Which I think should kind of be changed. I don't think that's fair.
Yeah.
I get home field advantage, but you're literally designing your stadium to give the opposing team a fucking handicap. Or not a handicap, but a disadvantage.
Yeah. Well, Jerry's World is another story.
Yeah.
That big window.
Mm-hmm.
If you're driving towards that window, you're blind. That quarterback's blind. And if you're a punter, good fucking luck.
Yep.
Man. And I think it's time, Austin, that we talked about the Bengals-Saints game. Bengals won 30-26. With a coming from behind win. Pause. Come from behind win. And we were down by 10 at one point. I think it was 20-10 or something like that, and we came back and won 30-26. Austin, you said you wanted to talk about something a little bit and have a little bit of a rant, so floor is yours.
Okay. I have never seen such a mid coach get bailed out by such a great quarterback so many times. It's insane. I mean, I was losing my mind watching this game. Because here's the thing, credit to Dennis Allen and the Saints for drawing up a plan and scoring as much as they did. Andy Dalton played fine. Taysom Hill did his thing. Alvin Kamara did his thing. The two biggest things I'm taking away from this game, Zach Taylor is still calling plays from Madden, and Eli Apple is getting fucking burned, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, he hasn't been that bad at the start of the season, but yesterday, man, he was just getting destroyed. If you look at it, every third down, Andy Dalton looked to Eli Apple, and he threw at whoever was running against Eli Apple. Eli Apple was getting burned over and over and over and over again. He had a couple good plays in run defense, and at the end of the game, he had really good coverage on the last throw from Andy Dalton. But my thing is, look, Zach Taylor is just... I don't know if he just doesn't believe in the run, if he thinks they can't run block, but Joe Mixon had 8 carries yesterday. And it wasn't like Mixon was getting stuffed. He had 8 carries for 45 yards. He was averaging 5.6 a carry. And he was doing the same thing in the Baltimore game as well. He was averaging good yardage. Run the fucking ball. You have a arguably top 5 running back. And you're not giving it to him. You're constantly putting Joe Burrow in an empty set. And I know Joe Burrow likes to throw it in the empty set. But Joe Burrow's great. The receivers are great, but they're playing a lot of shell coverage. They're playing double high safety, so you need to run the ball. So you have to make them respect the run and commit to stopping the run. So then it opens up for those bigger plays down the field. So we saw a little bit of that when Joe Mixon was getting like 6-7 yard carries. They started to creep down. What happened? Joe Burrow was able to take shots farther down the field. And, the 60-yard touchdown wasn't even a deep pass. It was a nice little 7-yard pass, and Jamar made 2 people miss. So Joe Burrow played amazingly yesterday. He went like 12 for 13 in the second half. 300 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown. Jamar Chase had his big game that I've been waiting for him to have. He played really good against the Steelers. Then he had a really good game yesterday, 7 for 132, 2 touchdowns. But the biggest thing I'm screaming all game, take Eli Apple out and put Dax Hill in. Dax Hill was drafted as a corner. I know they want him at safety, but give Dax Hill more playing time. He almost got an interception in the game as well. And Zach Taylor needs to give the play calling to someone else because he can't call plays. I'm just watching the play calling, especially in the run game, is just hurting me. It's hurting me. The fact that we're not running as much as we should be. Joe Mixon, if you give him the ball 20 times yesterday, he goes for over 100 yards. You control the clock more, which is what the Saints were doing to us. So these toss plays, that you give him every now and then he gets blown up. And then he's like, see, we couldn't run the ball today, so I had to go into passing formation. Like,
did he call like run plays on every first down too?
No. He called 8 run plays the entire
game.
The whole there was like 2 to Samaje Perine. Joe Mixon got 8 rushing attempts. Joe Mixon had more yards receiving than he did rushing. He has 45 yards rushing.
That is miserable.
So, obviously, you're not tricking anybody when you do a play action because you've ran the ball 8 times. So when you're running play action and then Burrow gets sacked and you're like, well, play action's supposed to give the quarterback more time to throw. They know he's not throwing it because it's so infuriating. Because Joe Mixon's season and his stats look so down. Everyone's like, Joe Mixon's not having a good year. They're not giving him the fucking ball. And it's not the line's fault because he's getting 5.5 yards a carry. So that's another team I want to shout out. The O-line, they were great yesterday. They had the 2 bad plays on the one drive, but we still got the field goal and then got a ball back, got a touchdown. They did really good. I didn't even hear Cameron Jordan's name called yesterday one time. I don't even think he had a sack. But Zach Taylor, man, a mid-coach will hold you back from the Super Bowl. And he got carried last year. And I think it's showing the reason why the Bengals are 3-3. I think the biggest reason is coaching. The first game, you can blame that on Joe Burrow, even though he put them in the game-winning position and they missed the extra point. But the Cowboys game and the fucking Ravens game especially, that's on Zach Taylor.
And scene.
And scene. Austin's like, I gotta take a couple of deep breaths. I'm gonna pass out.
Get him a shot of whiskey.
Get him a shot of whiskey. That'll get him going.
And then I'll let you guys take the floor.
But no, I definitely agree with that. No, for sure. Like,
he was so bad. He was bad to begin with.
There's so many like bad call. I'm still like mad at the point that whenever it's a 4th and 3, halfback toss to the left. Let's do it. Like, why is that your go-to 4th down play? Throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage. Toss the ball behind the line of scrimmage. Like, it's 3rd down, 3rd and 8. Why do you throw it behind the line of scrimmage? Like, come on. Throw the ball forward. Like, it's bad, dude. It's bad. And you know who's available? Buddy Sean Payton. You know? Maybe
If y'all get
dabble.
That's the dream scenario. That's the dream scenario.
Genuinely, I think if the Bengals don't make a run in the playoffs, you fire Zach Taylor because he's easily the one that's holding you back. I know everyone's like, he brought Cincinnati their first AFC title since the 80s.
He didn't do it.
I'm like, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, that offense brought the title.
Evan McPherson, especially.
Evan McPherson brought the title.
Brought the title.
And like I said, if we don't have Joe Burrow, we lose that game.
Oh yeah.
Joe Burrow was throwing dots. He was escaping. Oh my God. Not just the 20-yard rushing touchdown he scored, but there was a play. In the stat book, it's just like a 7-yard pass to Tyler Boyd. The line collapsed. He spins out, runs, jukes back inside, runs up to the line of scrimmage, and throws it to Tyler Boyd. Fantastic. Like, that guy makes magic happen.
Right.
And he's made Zach Taylor. Because we saw what Zach Taylor was with Andy Dalton. You know?
Right.
We saw what Zach Taylor was without Jamar Chase as well. So, when you look at his record, it's not good. I know he took over in a rebuild. He had the one season last year. That's why I'm like, okay, if last season's a building point, and then this season you have another good season, like, all right, I can say Zach Taylor really helped change the culture. But you want to tell me Marvin Lewis can't do exactly what he's been doing or better?
Mm-hmm. It's funny. I saw a meme on Twitter. It's like a Scooby-Doo meme. Like, let's see who's really behind the mask, and just unmask Zach Taylor. And it's just Marvin Lewis. It's just the same looking dude.
I know Marvin couldn't win in the playoffs, but Marvin didn't have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and Joe Mixon and
yeah, it's frustrating, but
great win. It was a great win. It was a much needed win.
All I know is the Bengals need to make moves before the deadline.
Yeah, I think you trade. Well, you just signed him, so you really can't trade Eli Apple. But
you trade Bates.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. If you believe Dax Hill can do as good of a job or better, then yes, you trade Bates. But I don't think the team would really sit well with it because every Bengals player has said extend Jesse Bates. They want him to stay.
Yeah.
Really badly. He's got such an energy in that locker room.
It's roster building wise, not locker room mentality. You trade Bates.
Yeah.
Get what you can.
I think the locker room has been what's carrying this team.
I would trade Bates for a corner and lineman. He's a top 5 free safety.
Yes.
Arguably.
If you could trade Jesse Bates and you could get just a solid, good corner, an upgrade over Eli Apple, and someone good in run defense, I'll take that trade. But
I'm gonna throw a name
giving up a top 5 safety.
But yet again, you're gonna need that money to extend Chase and Burrow.
Yeah.
And Higgins.
And
you cannot afford to let either of them walk.
I'd rather extend those 3 players. So, yeah. But the one last thing I want to talk about while we're on the subject of the Bengals is this is their shot to take a foothold on the North. Because their next 3-4 games, they're not playing anyone crazy good. They have, next week, they're home against the Falcons. Then they play the Browns on Monday Night Football. Then they play the Panthers. Then they have the bye. Then they have the Steelers. This is your chance. Win these next 4, you're 7-3, and you're in a commanding spot. Mm-hmm. And if you want to be a Super Bowl contender, these are games you have to win.
Right.
You should beat the Falcons at home. You should beat the Browns without Deshaun Watson. You should beat the Panthers, who are last in offense. You should beat the Steelers.
And it's the same with
no
the Ravens
offense.
also are playing pretty good teams in these couple weeks too. So if the Ravens lose out all those and we win all that, we're grabbing the North by the balls.
I mean, even if the Ravens go 2-2 over these next 4 games, you would still have a 2-game lead. Yeah. And you lost to the Ravens by 2. You lose to the Steelers by 3. And, like I said, no offense, but you should beat the Steelers. The Steelers are almost in a rebuilding mode right now. They're testing out Kenny Pickett. Their secondary is ravaged. I don't know if TJ Watt's going to be back for that game or not. Minkah Fitzpatrick was out. I don't know if his injury is extensive. But their offense is one of the worst in the league. You should win these games. Mm-hmm. And if you go 1-3 over this stretch or 2-2, you have to have some serious questions about your head coach.
Right.
I'm just thinking. I mean, I'm going back to Jesse Bates. I would trade it to the Jets.
For who?
any of their corners.
Could you do a trade for Quinnen Williams and
No. Quinn Williams is
maybe-
untouchable.
Yeah.
Your best luck would be to get Mekhi Becton and Brees or who's that corner? Hall,
I know who you're talking
the number
about.
2. But yeah,
It's not PJ Hall, is it? It's something else.
something like that. Because Mekhi Becton has injury concerns, but when healthy, he's proven to be really good.
But here's the thing. Tackle, I don't think is the issue for the Bengals. Because Jonah Williams has actually been really good. And aside from those first 2 games, Lyle Collins has looked really good.
Mhm.
It took some time for them to mesh together, but I didn't see any pressure off Lyle Collins' side yesterday, aside from maybe 1 or 2 plays. The 2 sacks came from right up the middle.
So you're more thinking like you want
I
guard.
want defensive line presence.
You'd rather have D line than have offensive line
Yes.
right now.
At this point, I would. I'd rather have someone that can help in run defense because DJ Reader's out. And you can tell we really miss him.
Yeah.
I know BJ Hill's really good too, but DJ Reader is an elite defensive tackle.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with it. I think our lines need a few games to get the chemistry going, to get their stuff together, and I think they, the couple games have shown it. Like you said, they had a couple of plays where, it didn't look too good, but we need that presence on the D line with Trey Hendrickson and company, and yeah, and we need to get someone.
The ends are really good
We need
of the D line. Yeah, the ends are fine. You got Sam Hubbard and Trey Hendrickson, who are fantastic.
Mhm.
And DJ Reader, when he's in, he's really good too. And I like BJ Hill a lot. I love that trade with the Giants. That got us BJ Hill.
Mhm.
But yeah, Eli Apple, I know we just extended him, but I don't think he should be your opposite corner of Awuzie.
Mhm.
Who, by the way, Awuzie was fantastic yesterday.
Uzi is awesome. He's a great corner.
I love him.
Uzi. I love Uzi.
He had a great one-on-one pass breakup yesterday for a touchdown that would have been, but so beautiful.
Right. Let's see. I think we talked about all the games. I believe.
Oh my
We're gonna
god!
talk about Giants Ravens. But,
I'm the Panthers Robbie Anderson trade, like the details.
oh yeah.
A 2024 6th-round pick and
That's
a
all they
7th
got?
rounder in 2025.
That's all they got?
Somebody in the comments said they traded him for a 10th grader right now.
Traded him for a sophomore in high school.
Fuck are the Panthers doing?
Is that true? Let's see. So 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
And they traded him for a 10th grader.
1, 2, 3, 4. So junior year, senior year, freshman year, sophomore year, and then junior again. So 5 years. That's not probably a 11th grader from
Yeah.
actually.
But still,
They traded them for someone in high school.
Still.
They traded for somebody still in high school.
Jesus,
Wow.
man. Jesus.
Holy shit, that's a horrible trade. I mean, great job for the Cardinals. They just robbed them. I guess.
The upside is great. I mean, I don't see they gave up nothing.
Robbie was just like,
I mean, if you're the Panthers, I guess they just really needed to get him the fuck up out of there. I don't know what the locker room presence was like, but the coach and him were arguing on the sideline. He got taken out of the game, so.
we can talk about Ravens Giants. Giants beating the Ravens 24-20.
Barkley's that dude.
Harbaugh needs to be under fire.
Mm-hmm.
His seat should be so warm right now. Even last year.
I mean,
granted, Lamar was hurt.
Their 3 losses, they had at least double-digit leads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they almost lost last week to the Bengals, if not
You
for Zach Taylor's
lose-
play calling.
You lose to Daniel Jones.
After having a 2-possession lead on him.
Like, I really got to question that Raven. You really got to question the Ravens right now.
Mhm.
they every year we're hyping them up. They draft awesome. Their roster, like
Always
their
have great
roster,
off seasons.
their roster looks great on paper. Then you're just like, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Well,
Marcus Peters and Marlon Humphrey. Like, who are you getting beat by?
I think when you look at it too, I have the most respect in the world for him, but Lamar isn't playing great either. He had the first 4 games where he looked unbelievable. He did. I don't know what he was thinking on that last turnover against the Giants. And then
Awful.
he didn't play good against the Bengals. He was missing wide open. Realistically, the Bengals game, the Ravens should have won by at least 2 scores.
Yeah, the last 2 games, Lamar's looked okay.
I won't even say that. I think he's looked questionable. And Harbaugh, I agree with you, should be under heavy scrutiny right now.
I mean, I get it. You lose your defensive coordinator for how long? But, like, you got to relax. That defense has no reason to be that bad right now.
But it's not even like it's not even that. It's not like they're giving up a lot of points.
No, it's just, like, stupid stuff. It's
yeah,
not like...
You're up 20-10.
It's not like...
You have Lamar making bad decisions, but you're also making bad play calls on offense.
Like, I don't understand.
Your offense is very turnover prone.
You gave Lamar, like, nothing. You have Mark Andrews and Bateman, but, like, even then, like, Bateman's okay, I think. That's my opinion.
He's not great.
He's
Not yet, anyway.
He's a serviceable receiver right now. He's young.
I mean, they have another receiver who's had a pretty decent year so far. I can't remember his name.
Duvernay?
Yeah, he's been pretty solid so far.
Like,
but Lamar doesn't have a number
problem?
1.
He hasn't. He's never had a number 1 in his career.
And he's got Mark Andrews, who's a top 3 receiving tight end. But
The Ravens' whole system is 3 tight ends all the time, basically.
And you rely on the running game. And Dobbins has been solid.
Like, you need to restructure that whole offense and make it, like... I don't know what they have to do.
I think the Ravens' biggest thing they need offensively is you just need a dominant number 1 receiver. Because everyone in your division kind of has one. You got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, who are both solid number 1s. And then you have Amari Cooper, who has had a resurgence this year. He's been really good for Cleveland. And on the Steelers, I know he's not dominant, but Deontay Johnson has been really reliable. And they have a go up and get it receiver in Chase Claypool.
I think they have to restructure their offensive scheme. I think that's another big issue. It worked Lamar's MVP year, but like now,
catching on to that now.
I mean, now you put your 2 best corners on them, play man, and have your 2 safeties just stop zoning it, and just like your only worry is Mark Andrews and Lamar.
Yeah.
Because Kansas City figured that out. Was it 2 years ago they played?
Yep. They
Kansas
played
City
last year too, I think.
Whenever it was like 24-20, Kansas City figured that out.
Right.
Ravens should be worried.
Yeah,
I'm not saying they're not going to make the playoffs.
I'm pushing the panic button. Because genuinely, if they don't win the division, I don't think the North is going to have a wild card team.
No.
Because you have the West, and in the West you have the Chargers, the Chiefs. I mean, the Broncos, if the injury was what was holding Russ back and they start to turn up, you could have 3 wild cards in that one division. The South, I mean, you have the Colts, who I think are still going to win that division, but the Jags haven't looked terrible, and the Titans are playing way better than people thought they were going to play. And then the fucking East, you might have 3 wild card teams there, or 2 wild card teams there, because you're going to have a division winner, and then which I think is going to be the Bills, and you have the Dolphins with Tua when healthy, who are really good, and you also have the Jets who have been playing really good. And the Patriots started coming back.
Yeah. And Ravens are high chance to lose to another in division. Like they might lose to the Browns because it's a division matchup. It's just a division matchup.
Is it the Browns matchup? No, Steelers and Browns this week.
It's Steelers Browns this week?
I think, isn't it?
Let me check.
Let me see. It's Ravens Browns.
Ravens Browns. Yeah, that's what I mean.
They drop that game.
They could easily drop that.
Yeah, and Jacoby Brissett game manages.
Like Ravens are for sure could be a playoff team, but I would be just worried about the direction it's going. If you do not make that trade for DJ Moore, there's questions.
If I'm DJ Moore, I want to get the fuck up out of Carolina.
Oh yeah, they're asking multiple first round picks for McCaffrey, which I think is by far the most crazy thing you can ever do.
Mm-hmm.
McCaffrey, top 5 running back when healthy, obviously.
And he's proved it, and he stayed healthy.
Multiple first round picks for an injury prone running back.
I wouldn't.
Most replaceable position on the football field, in my opinion. I'm sure everybody else's. And that fat contract, you're lucky to get a second or a third.
Yeah.
You take it and run with it. Because if he's not part of your long-term future, you take it and run.
No.
DJ Moore, you can get a second for. Maybe even a late first. Even a late first, I would go as far because DJ Moore has proven that.
Round for DJ Moore.
Nothing like a late first, like nothing more than 15. I would go.
I think he's a top. You could trade him for a top 5 pick, but I agree. I would say mid to late first. DJ Moore is a solid. He's a really good receiver.
I would not trade.
And top you look at his numbers, and you're like, oh, he hasn't been having a great season. But you look at the tape, he's wide open. Baker Mayfield just isn't seeing him.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah, it's interesting, honestly.
Oh, and Arizona lost their starting left guard as well.
To an injury?
This came out. Yep.
Yeah.
So that trade's looking really good for Arizona. Carolina, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. But should we do a top 3, bottom 3? Because we're at over an hour.
Yep. Let me get there. Top 3, bottom 3. Who wants to do it this week?
Good job, guys.
I got you. Top 3 Super Bowl contenders.
Oh, that's easy.
Top 3
that's
Super Bowl
easy one.
contenders.
Eagles, Bills.
Eagles, Bills, Chiefs.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
I'd probably say Bills, Eagles, Chiefs.
Well,
Bills, Bills are my
no order. No order.
I was saying no order. I was just
no
naming
order?
teams.
Okay.
No.
And bottom 3.
I will say the NFC's wide open though. Before we go on, NFC is wide
the Eagles
open.
Play a top 5 team.
Me too.
I mean, you consider the Vikings like a top 5 team in the NFC? Speaking wise,
well, in the NFC, yeah, but the Vikings I think are a little overrated.
I mean, that's all they really have to get through. They just have to get through the NFC. Then I think the Super Bowl they'll be okay if they make it.
Yeah.
Man, bottom 3s are so hard. So we do bottom 3 wide receiver 1s.
Wide receiver 1s? That's disrespectful, but I'll do it.
Ooh.
It's disrespectful, but
Let me see. Well, Lazard.
Really? I don't think he's been that bad.
No, I
But
will
you know
I will
what?
die
No.
on that hill. I will die on the hill. The Packers are number 1.
Man. I'm going to go with
Lazard's
someone
not
else
that
in
bad,
the
but
division.
I think there's other people that, obviously are.
This is going to sound bad, but I'm going to go in the same division as you. I'm going to say Darnell Mooney. Is he
the number 1 though? They play more
He's
as
the number
the
1
2.
receiver on that team, though.
Well, he's the best receiver on the team.
Who's their number 1?
I don't know if he plays like the number 1 position.
I think
though.
he does. In my
Okay.
opinion. I mean, I see him split out wide a lot. So I'm going to go. I would say Mooney's the 3rd because I think he's a great number 2 receiver, but I don't see him as number 1.
Okay.
Let me say.
All right. Well, Lazard, Robert Woods.
Wow.
Well, is he hurt? I don't know. I don't want to be disrespectful, but he hasn't been.
No, he hasn't been that great. You're right.
And And I don't want to say the Giants because all the receivers are hurt.
Yeah, it's just not fair.
It's not fair.
Who is their number one? Tony or Galladay?
Right now, it appears to be Slayton.
I just mean in general, if everyone's fully healthy. Is it Tony or Galladay?
Total, it goes Galladay, Shepard, Tony.
Galladay would be my number one worst.
Mm-hmm.
You want to hear a crazy stat? Since Galladay and Tony have gotten there, the starting left tackle has more receiving touchdowns than both of them combined.
Jeez.
Like I don't know, but they benched him though, so I wouldn't count him as the number one anymore.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
I have the same exact list as Cameron.
But it's Lazard, Woods, and then I want to say Mooney, but I don't want to.
I would say Mooney, then Lazard, and then my number one would probably be. Or no, I'd say Lazard and then Mooney, because I would take Lazard over Mooney. I've just seen Lazard make some big plays this year. Lazard, Mooney, and then. Oh man,
you're not picking Woods?
I don't think so, because he's never been a number one to me. He's a slot guy.
I mean, but
I know he's playing the number one right now, but I still don't consider him a one. I think their one, if he was healthy, would be Traylon Burks.
I'm not going to pick anybody from the Giants, but whoever the Giants was when they were healthy. But
who'd you say the Texans one is?
Brandon Cooks.
Is it Brandon Cooks? Then
yes, it's Brandon Cooks.
I'm not going to put him on the list. He's been good.
Almost inclined. This is going to hurt me. I'm almost inclined to say Juju.
I'm thinking about it because he has not done shit.
I'm almost inclined.
He hasn't done shit with that team.
Yeah.
I mean, he's made the plays when it mattered, but that's just. I don't think has he had a 100-yard game besides Buffalo?
I don't think so. No.
Buffalo was his only 100-yard game so far this year.
Jesus.
Yeah, you know what? Just because I'm drawing blanks, I'm gonna say Woods at 3, Lazard at 2, Mooney at 1. I love Darnell Mooney, but he's not a number. He's a better number 2 than he is a number 1. He can't be Justin.
Well,
Fields'
he's really disappointing this year though. So I agree with that list.
He's made a couple big plays. I've seen him make some great catches, but
he just hasn't get the ball thrown to him. I don't want to blame Mooney. Like, it's not him that he's bad. It's the Bears just don't throw to him.
Yeah.
The first 3 games, he had like 3 targets combined.
Yeah. Well, that's because they weren't throwing at all.
Yeah, but I will put him there just because of that.
Oh, good. Oh, goodness.
All right, well, we're getting to about an hour and 13 minutes, boys. This was a good episode, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Finally got us 3 back. If you guys, I'm working on getting sponsors for the podcast. By the way, I haven't told you guys yet, but I'm working on getting some sponsors for the podcast.
Oh god.
Ooh.
We'll see what happens about that. But for those that are watching, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Check out all of us in the description of this video, or if you're watching us on Spotify, I'm pretty sure our links are in our podcast description. So go check that out. And if you're watching this on Spotify, come check us out on YouTube and on TikTok. Our TikTok's been popping off. We're 5 followers away from 100, and yeah, our TikTok's doing pretty well. I'm liking how pretty well our TikTok's doing. I think we're getting a good following from there too. But yeah, yeah, because you don't fucking post, bitch. More like me and Austin have contributed to that TikTok more. Like
I've made like 3 or 4 TikToks.
I made
That's
one.
What I'm saying.
I made one.
You made one the first day.
And it
we
was a
made
good
it.
one. And it was a good one. It was a good one.
It was good. It was a banger. I might be going to hell for it, but it was a banger.
It was a good one, but you need to make more, Cameron. You need
I want to make YouTube videos.
Joe Burrow
Then
MVP.
do it. Fucking do it.
No.
Okay. Also, I want to start making YouTube shorts.
Hop on for a dual com, boys. Try live com. I've been recording with Cody like all the fucking time.
Literally. I'm
Oh.
down with that.
Yo. All right.
Yo,
yeah.
jump on, bro. Me and
No.
Cody got a live commentary coming out in like a couple days.
You-
All right. What do you guys,
All right,
what do you guys
yeah,
talk
alright.
about?
Our most recent was a starting room challenge we did together. We both just woke up one day and he messaged me. He's like, "Yo, do you want to do a live comp starting room challenge with me?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, why not?"
All right.
Me and Cody got drunk on my birthday and played Fortnite.
There you go. There you go.
Oh
It was a
man,
vibe,
good.
man.
I haven't talked to him in forever.
I haven't talked-
Bro.
Cody's- he's in our league. He's in our fantasy league.
I know!
I know.
He
Me and him were, dude. When you guys messaged me to do the podcast today, me and him were playing Cold War.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. I need to play. He doesn't like. I Snapchat him all the time.
Snapchat.
But it's always just streaks, so I never really have a conversation. But yeah, follow us on TikTok. We're gonna be doing episodes probably every Monday now. I'd say Monday's probably our designated.
Monday's
day.
a Monday's a pretty
Monday's
good
a
day
good
for everybody, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I never work till 2 p.m. So
I'm
So, yeah.
throwing up gang signs right now.
Throwing up getting the West Side. But yeah. If you're watching us on Spotify, you're a G, and yeah. So go follow all of us on Twitter or YouTube or whatever you prefer, and we'll see you all in the next episode. Episode 11. We'll see you all later. Peace out, everyone.
Joe Burrow MVP.
Oh, before we leave, actually, I didn't even get final words. I completely forgot about final words. All right, Austin, final words. I think you already know what you're gonna say, but
Eli Apple defense player. of the year.
no, no.
Joe Burrow MVP.
Cameron, any last words?
I'm just gonna let everybody know right now. Everybody that's watching, including you, everybody. I'm just gonna let everybody know. I want you all to know that Austin is.
Oh,
All right.
okay. Well, it messed up the face cams, but that works.
Yeah. All right.
All right. My last word is Houday. That's all I gotta say. Peace out,
Let's go.
everyone. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out, everyone.